Without much budget, much precedent, they composed one of the very best horror movies, or movies, ever made. Combining the refined You Are There garage elegance of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre with the psycho-aggressive violence of George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead, or The Crazies, or Dawn of the Dead, very adjacent to the film's actual production, however, so dubiously. Sam Raimi's The Evil Dead projected the designer genius of Tom Sullivan, one of the very finest of effects artists, particularly relative to the scale of the trilogy, compared with the likes of the Stan Winston world or Tom Savini, Rick Baker et al. In some respects, this film is better when not considering the two sequels, or the requel and that movie sequel, however you want to see it. This film is considered the first of a trilogy, and I will say, the comedic emphasis in films 2 and of Darkness, it actually softens what otherwise might seem overly campy slapstick for a serious horror film. When watching Evil Dead 1 now, the spots of extravagant cartoonish physical comedy punctuated with bouncy sound effects can seem like a more quaint precursor to Dead by Dawn, and arguably a finer, maybe even seamless, blend of two things, flagrant silly humour and horrifying repulsive terror. A more impressive accomplishment than the horror comedy convictions of Dead by Dawn, one may argue. That one scene with the tree is questionable, to be putting it quite mildly. Very needlessly well photographed, unbelievably impressive makeup and general VFX for the production scale, one of the most efficiently atmospheric and moody films ever made, even independent of the more indulgent splatter sequences, and, for the time, considering the history of horror films before then, quite wildly original at that, for sure. One of the films which, considering the little they had to actually work with, I am unbelievably phenomenally jealous of, though I have to remind myself that $375,000 is a lot of money. Well, obviously now, but especially at that point in time, indeed. I might ultimately prefer Dead by Dawn, and highly appreciate Army of Darkness too, though Evil Dead 1 will always hold a special place in my heart as an individual film, phenomenally ambitious, imaginatively ingenious.